Welcome to our training on hazmat violations. Let's begin with a safety moment. We'll discuss the Take 5 for safety approach: stop, look, think, plan, and act. Take a moment to reflect on these steps. Ask yourself, would using these steps help you eliminate any injuries, accidents, spills, or hazardous mixtures in the workplace? 1. Stop before starting any task. 2. Look to identify hazards before performing the task. 3. Think about what you need to do to perform the task safely. 4. Plan the steps required to complete the task safely. 5. Act by following your plan and performing the task safely. By using these steps, we can enhance workplace safety. In this video you will learn about the hazmat regulations and its design to reduce the probability and consequences of a hazardous material release. Hazardous materials are flammable, explosive, poisonous, or radioactive materials. Mishandling of hazmat during transportation can cause accidents that threaten the safety of people, property, and the environment. The Hazardous Materials Behavior Analysis and Safety Improvement category, BASIC, is one of 7 categories used by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA, to assess how a motor carrier ranks compared to others with a similar number of safety events, such as inspections, violations, or crashes. This assessment contributes to determining a carrier's CSA score. Currently, our hazardous materials compliance score stands at 77 percentile. Hazardous material violations are categorized into 9 different sections to assess the severity of the infraction concerning safety. Each section has a severity weight, which reflects the violation's potential impact on crash consequences and occurrence. The severity weights are scaled from 1 to 10, with 1 indicating the lowest crash risk and 10 indicating the highest. The categories and their corresponding severity weights are: 1. Load securement severity weight 10. 2. Hazmat package integrity severity weight 8. 3. Hazmat package testing severity weight 7. 4. Hazmat fire hazard severity weight 6. 5. Hazmat markings severity weight 5. 6. Hazmat cargo protection severity weight 4. 7. Hazmat documentation severity weight 3. 8. Hazmat other severity weight 2. 9. Hazmat route severity weight 1. This classification helps determine the level of risk associated with each violation. Let's take a moment to examine the top hazmat violations in the U.S. These violations include the following: 1. Packages not securely fastened in the vehicle. 2. Lack of a copy of the U.S. DOT hazmat registration number. 3. Absence of shipping papers. 4. Accessibility of shipping papers. 5. Failure to display required placards. 6. Prohibiting placarding. 7. Damaged, deteriorated, or obscured placards. 8. Inadequate maintenance or accessibility of emergency response information. 9. Offering or transporting materials without emergency response information. Now, let's see how our company stands against these top violations in the U.S. Some of the top violations our organization has incurred from 2022 to 2024 are as follows: 1. Damaged, deteriorated, or obscured placards, 13 violations. 2. Hazmat, highway carriage, failing to have hazmat shipping papers readily accessible, 11 violations. 3. Release of hazmat from package, 11 violations. 4. Maintenance/accessibility of emergency response information, 10 violations. 5. Failure to mark manual remote shutoff device, 8 violations. 6. Emergency response information not available, missing, or not provided as required, 7 violations. 7. Improper or no total quantity listed, 6 violations. 8. No shipping papers, carrier, 5 violations. 9. Cargo tank test or inspection markings, 4 violations. 10. DOT 406, 407, 412 supports and anchoring, 4 violations. 11. DOTSP or special permit number not entered on shipping paper, 3 violations. 12. No placards or markings when required, 3 violations. 13. Prohibited placarding, 3 violations. This summary highlights the key violations, making it easier to understand the areas of concern within our organization. Let's discuss the Emergency Response Guidebook, ERG. When transporting hazardous materials, the driver must always have the ERG book with them and keep it within reach while securely restrained by their seatbelt. The ERG book is designed to provide essential information for your safety, public safety, and environmental protection in the event of a hazmat spill. It is best practice to keep your bill of lading with your ERG book in the door pouch while in transport on the roadway. Hazmat registration can now be digital and will be accessible through your Permit Links app if needed. We no longer have to have a hard copy of the hazmat registration in our possession. It is best practice to log into your Permit Links account before leaving the yard to ensure all your documents are available. 49 CFR 390.32. Hazmat shipping papers are a common area of violations we are observing. When the driver is in control of the vehicle, these shipping papers should be within easy reach while the driver is wearing a seatbelt. They can either be placed in a holder mounted to the driver's side door or positioned so that they are easily visible to anyone entering the driver's compartment. Additionally, the hazmat shipping papers must be at the very top of all paperwork. The accompanying picture illustrates the correct placement for the hazmat shipping papers. In this picture, the driver must unbuckle his seatbelt to access the shipping papers, which means they would not be within reach and could be considered a hazmat violation. A hazmat placard violation must be maintained by the carrier to ensure that the format, legibility, color, and visibility of the placard are not significantly diminished due to damage, deterioration, or obstruction by dirt or other materials. Are there any placards you believe would be legal for transporting hazardous materials on a public roadway in these pictures? The emergency shutoff sticker is a frequent violation we encounter when hauling hazardous materials. According to 49 CFR 172.328, a regulation mandates that manually activated remote shutoff devices on cargo tanks must be marked as emergency shutoff. The marking must adhere to the following requirements. Location: it should be positioned immediately adjacent to the shutoff device. Size: the letters must be at least 0.75 inches high and must be in a contrasting color to the background. When hauling hazardous materials in a tanker, you must meet specific requirements for tank testing on that trailer. There are 3 types of testing: the VK, vapor test, KEPA 27 testing, and IP testing for internal pressure. These tank tests are essential to ensure safety and compliance. 180.407 Requirements for test and inspection of specification cargo tanks. A cargo tank constructed in accordance with a DOT specification for which a test or inspection specified in this section has become due, may not be filled and offered for transportation or transported until the test or inspection has been successfully completed. The VK and KEPA 27 tests are completed yearly, while the IP internal pressure test is completed every 5 years. You will see on this picture that the VK date is torn and unreadable and the IP date is also torn and unreadable. Both of these would lead to violations on a roadside inspection. Let's discuss what the release of hazmat packaging means. Each package used for shipping hazardous materials under this subchapter must be designed, constructed, maintained, and filled in a way that ensures its contents are limited and securely closed. This is to prevent any product from spilling or sloshing around during transportation. There should be no leaks onto the ground or any other area while traveling on public roadways. The pictures to the left illustrate violations of hazardous material packaging. In each image, you can see that the contents are sloshing around and have not been properly contained, which poses a risk while on the roadway. Here is an example of a hazmat inspection where the driver failed to obtain a bill of lading when picking up a tank from a customer. The placards were faded, and one placard was obscured by a strap. The total points assigned for both the driver and Suncoast's FMCSA profile amount to 18 points. A good rule of thumb is to make sure you walk your unit before leaving a customer and/or rack location, to check to make sure you are compliant before entering the roadway. Thank you for taking the time to review this hazmat safety briefing and understand that you are the final line of defense in ensuring you and your equipment are compliant and safe before heading out on the roadway.